Getting ready? All right. I gotta throw on the old helmet and gloves. Let's do this.
Hey, you touring and adventure riders. Packing up your bike and being prepared is super important.
Yeah, that's a lesson we're still learning.
We recently took off on a road trip with friends to a place that had a lot of extremes.
And it doesn't get more extreme than Death Valley.
You're right. You know, the temperatures can soar super high during the day, and they can drop pretty low at night.
And it's not just the weather that's extreme, it's the wildlife.
Oh yeah, you can say that again.
Doesn't that look like a gas hose nozzle thingy?
So a bunch of us riders met up at the regular spot.
Yeah, you know, we need to find a better spot to meet.
Okay, what is your problem with McDonald's?
Now, let's not get me started.
So if you've seen our videos before, you're going to recognize some of these bikes, and some of these bikes you might not recognize.
No incriminating evidence. You'll be fine. You can always hit the delete button.
Well, speaking of incriminating evidence, I mean, I know it was close to Halloween, but Dave, really, you gotta hide your tracks better. But Mike and I were so excited to be finally heading out on motorcycles to Death Valley. Now, we'd been in the area before several times driving, but we've never really explored the area on two wheels.
Yeah, we knew there was a lot of cool stuff to check out.
Oh yeah, check her out. So as we started out on the ride, things were going really smoothly.
Yeah, it was pretty uneventful for, I'd say, the first 10 miles.
Well, yeah, you're right, because the further we went along, well, then we started to experience some of these extremes we were talking about. Like, let's discuss wind gusts.
Yeah, we were hitting wind gusts of 50 miles an hour, which is no fun on a Goldwing.
Right? I kind of felt like I was being blown all over the road, right?
Yeah.
Right, but the closer we got to Death Valley, I mean, you really start to experience more extremes, like the temperature.
It's not just the heat, it's also the cold.
That's true. But this past year, the heat really got to some folks on motorcycles. These German tourists came over, rented bikes, and sadly, one of them expired.
Yeah, that was tragic.
So riding along on these beautiful back roads was a real pleasure, right? But as we said, this was a trip of extremes. There were times where we felt, really warm in the sun, but with these crazy wind gusts and at some of the elevation levels, it was important that we stop and add a layer or two from our trunk, right, Mike?
There was those 5 minutes when it was just right.
Oh gosh, we really are kind of like this Goldilocks and the Three Bears kind of vibe whenever we ride somewhere. Huh?
Right.
It's like, this one was too cold.
The barometer's too high.
I know, right? I know. This is why people don't want to ride with us, Mike. Our ride leader had made sure we had reservations to stay at a place in Beatty, Nevada. But on the way in on 394, we decided to stop at Rhyolite, Nevada, a really cool little ghost town full of art, and there's even a quaint little museum there to check things out. I think Mike was checking out some of the local sculptures.
Yeah, this was definitely a cool little town to check out. It was established in 1905. There's not much left of it, but it's still pretty cool.
Oh, yeah, that's for sure. I mean, this place was booming, right? Boom or bust during gold rush times. But by the year, I guess it was 1920, there were only like 14 people left. But we rode through pretty quick, and it was time that we ourselves left, right? You know, but we weren't in that big of a hurry. I guess you can't call us the Goldwing Rush, right, Mike?
We were in the middle of rush hour, though.
In the middle of rush hour. Gold Rush, Goldwing Rush. I don't know. It's a bad pun, you guys. Sorry.
So it turns out we're only 6 miles from our destination of Beatty, Nevada.
Isn't it Nevada?
No, it's potato.
Nevada. But anyway, we got into town late afternoon, and pretty soon some stomachs were rumbling. People were getting hungry.
What time is it?
It's time to eat. You guys want to eat? We're gonna have barbecue.
I, of course, had my eyes out for barbecue.
Oh yeah, you do love hot barbecue. Now, I have to mention that this town is full of wild donkeys running around, right?
A lot of asses running around.
Exactly. You know, so after dark, the wild donkeys got, well, wild.
Here's a video for you. This is our friend from Beatty. And there's Bob. He's excited to see Bob, apparently.
Oh my God! What you got?
Doesn't that look like a gas hose nozzle thingy?
Okay, well, if that wasn't weird enough, there is a great little camp store right there. And, you know, they have all these trippy flavored sodas. Why don't you guys check these out while we tell you what actually happened and why we had to come home early.
Well, as soon as we got our self-service back, we discovered 2 very important pieces of information.
Well, that's for sure. One of which was that we had a very important business matter that we had to deal with that was super, super time sensitive and way unexpected.
Now, the second bit of information was potentially a bigger deal for us.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Because we finally had cell service again, we popped on the old YouTube and we saw a video put out by Cruiseman explaining that there was yet another Honda Goldwing recall that affected potentially us.
Now, an engine bolt grenading your motor is not a good thing when you're in the middle of Death Valley, where
Right.
you could literally drive for days without seeing another person.
So intimidating news that we had to get up super early, but then we had to wait for the roads to defrost. It was 29 degrees, man. We had every stitch, every layer of clothing on to ride back in this weather, and it was chilly. It was icy.
And once more, now we've separated from the group, so we were literally just winging it on the way back home.
Yeah, hoping we didn't have a breakdown or run out of gas because, again, Death Valley's extreme, Death Valley is remote, and these roads, well, sometimes you won't be seeing another car or vehicle coming for miles.